Hello everyone! I'm so excited to share with you guys tonight because tonight we're talking about how to make mini sensory bins for your classroom because this year with COVID, everyone is going to need their own things and own supplies. So these mini sensory bins are just the trick. And these are also perfect too if you're sending like an at-home kit. You can send one of these home, or if you are a parent, because I know I have a lot of parents who are homeschooling, if you're a parent, these are the perfect way for you to start making sensory bins for your kiddos, or to do at home or with grandma or grandpa or whoever. So welcome, welcome, welcome everyone. I'm so excited to see everyone, even though it's crazy, crazy times, right? So I want to tell everyone at the top of this post, you will find a link to my blog that has detailed directions about a few of these sensory bins. I have 2 more blog posts coming this week about mini sensory bins, so stay tuned for those. But I had to show you these tonight because they're so awesome. And then they, what else? There's also links to my past Facebook Live, and then there's a link to the Facebook group, and I think my TPT store, which is where you can get these labels. So yeah, so hello. So everyone, I want you to tell me in the comments, are you doing sensory this year like normal? Are you doing mini bins? Or are you not doing it? Are you nervous to do it? Kind of where is everybody at? So tell us in the comments because we all want to know. Or if you are a homeschooler, tell us that in the comments too, kind of where you're at in the sensory excitingness. So yeah, so let's just hop right to it. So these mini sensory bins are perfect because you can use them for individual kiddos so they don't have to share. And I know like people are doing the book quarantine, so after kids have had a book, it gets like quarantined for 2 weeks. So you could do that with these too. So obviously you would have to have like a double class set or 2 class sets. So 1 set would be quarantined and 1 set would be in use. So that's another idea too, so you're not having to remake them, but I have some tricks I'm gonna show y'all, like just you wait. So why are we doing sensory? Because the kids need it. Kids, especially if you're doing virtual preschool, or if you're doing preschool and everybody's spaced, or if you're just doing regular preschool or pre-K or K or first, they need sensory. Their body, their brains need sensory. Like, it's just a fact. They need it. If you don't give them what they need, problem behaviors will occur. So make these and hopefully the problem behaviors will decrease because you're giving them what they need. And if a kiddo isn't getting what they need, they can't really communicate that to us, right? Like my insides feel a mess. They can't communicate that, or I feel anxious, but they need sensory. So these sensory bins are just the trick. So containers. So you can use pencil boxes, and I bet you in about a week or 2, all the pencil boxes are gonna go down to like a quarter. So stock up then, cause I usually buy like 10 a year, just cause I have bullies and my kids break them because I use them for my own kids. And I use them to organize different things, but so grab them when everything goes on clearance, or they're $1 right now. They're always at the dollar store. Another option, a cheaper option, are using meal prep food containers. It's totally another option. There's like 15 of these. Oh, I was gonna write the price tag on them, but these are less than $1 a piece. So check out like bulk food containers too, or maybe you have a local restaurant where you know the owners. Maybe you could ask a local restaurant to donate some food containers for you. That would work as well. So food containers, pencil boxes, or I know some of you guys have these trays from either Lakeshore or Target Dollar Spot. They're actually like paper trays for like older classes, but I use them for sensory all the time because you can throw these in the dishwasher and wash them, and they're super easy to clean. So whatever kind of tray you want to use or bin, do what works for you. You can also use like those shoe boxes, like those plastic shoe box size bins. Those work. And I would ask your parents in your classroom, hey, does anybody have some small pencil box size bins, or can everybody send in a pencil box? I'm sure families right now will do anything to help their kids out right now. So ask families and local restaurants too for those food containers. So yeah, so what are you gonna put in a sensory bin? Oh, the labels. So I put these you can grab from my TPT store for a couple bucks. Oop, I lost you there for a minute. Sorry about that. Oh, everybody likes my shirt. It's from jane.com. I'll put the link for you guys in a little bit. I put these on Velcro. That way I can pull this off and trash this if I need to, or just wash it, or like sanitize it, and then I can sanitize the bin. So Velcro. And then too, if you want to switch kiddos, you want to give them this 1 week and then this another week, you can totally switch it out too. And that way everybody knows whose is whose. So inside, so every sensory bin I kind of think has some components. So you always need like a filler, which these are some beans, just some little beans. And then you need some kind of like container to fill stuff. So whether it be, these are little plastic shot glasses. I got them at the Dollar Tree over the summer. I'm sure party stores have them now. Dollar Tree could have them too. And I did laminate. Christina says, did I laminate the name tags? And yes, I did. I actually printed these on regular paper and then laminated them. Just with regular lamination, like pockets. So yeah, so you need like some kind of cup to fill. You need some kind of scoop. I almost always have tweezers in my sensory bin. And then some kind of, I call them like little treasures. So whether it be mini erasers, anything that's easy to clean. Mini erasers, little gems, anything that's easy to clean, just so they have something to kind of hunt for and pick up with those little fingers, because look at all of this great fine motor. They're using all those fine motor muscles when they are picking things up, when they're using these scoops. And if you're using mini sensory bins, use a set of measuring scoops, because except for the little itty bitty one, like, so you'll get 3 scoops for $1, so they're super cheap. So they can scoop and then pour. So hand-eye coordination. They're using bilateral integration by using 2 hands at once. Again, all the fine motor when they're picking up all these little things, and even holding the little cups. So this is one bin. So this bin has white beans. Now, one thing you need to know about beans, the red bean is poisonous if ingested. So do not use red. I want to say it's, I don't know if they're all the dry red beans or just the kidney bean. I can't remember. But yeah, so just use white beans. You can get them in the store. Somebody's asking, do I clean the beans? So I don't clean the beans. So what I would do is kind of put them in the quarantine. So you could empty out everybody's stuff and get out all the goodies, and then put those in a, wash them or whatever. And then I would take the beans and like quarantine them for like 2 weeks before you use them again. So that way all the germs basically die, right? They kind of go away after 2 weeks. So yeah, so these are just beans. And so if somebody's asking, how do I dye beans? I forgot to grab it. But so it's super simple. All you take are these little white beans. Don't use the big ones because the paint falls off. But take beans, put them in a little plastic baggie, shake, shake, shake with acrylic paint. So acrylic paint, white beans in a baggie, shake, and then put them on like a piece of wax paper to dry, and you have gorgeous, gorgeous beans. You can use liquid watercolor, but I really like the acrylic paint because they're a lot brighter and cool. Or like the colors just come out more vibrant. But if you go to the top of this post, there's a link to my blog, and it has detailed directions on how to dye the sensory beans, or the beans, if you want like a step-by-step. So yeah, so this one again just has mini erasers, little shot glasses, a pair of tweezers, and a scoop. So that's super simple. So let's say this is Jude's box. So another option you could do is you could give the kids the same filler, and then what you could do is switch out what's inside. So that way the same kid has the same filler, but instead of, so take that out, and maybe these are little sports trophies I found at the Dollar Tree. Little plastic eggs. I would buy tons and tons of eggs during Easter because look, they're having to like smash them together. Great hand-eye coordination. The paint on these beans, people are asking, does the paint come off? And it doesn't. When you're dyeing them, they'll wear gloves or don't get on your clothes because the paint will stain. But once it's dry, you're good. I also have a tutorial on my Instagram highlight too. And I have a video that I'll put in this post with the like step-by-step how-to after this. So they have the other ones in it, and now you can put some little sports eggs. And you can totally do this for each kiddo. They can have different stuff. You could have a table of stuff and they could come pick out stuff. And then you could put some sports mini erasers in it. So you could have the kid keep the same filler for a couple weeks and just switch out what's inside, put a scoop in, a pair of tweezers. And one thing I like about the pencil boxes is they can kind of use this top part to kind of like put the stuff that they're not using. That way if they just want to play over here, or if they just want to fill the eggs up, they can fill the eggs. Or maybe they want to put just the mini erasers in the egg and kind of hide all of them. They can do that too, but it's kind of a little spot to put everything. And if you're worried about spilling, so it's just like anything else. Their kids will have to get used to it. So you could put a tray underneath the sensory bin so it's a kind of catch-all for all the stuff that falls out. But the more they use these bins, the better hand-eye coordination they'll have, and visual discrimination. So they'll be able to put it in the appropriate place and be more accurate with where they're dumping, and so the things will fly out less, basically. The more they play with these, the less of a mess they make. And then you can just teach them, oh, if you hear one pop on the ground, make sure you pick it up and put it in the trash can. I always put anything that goes on the ground, you know, you can put it in like, if these fall on the ground, you know, give them the teacher and wash them. Or if your beans fall on the ground, we're just gonna throw those away because we don't want those germs. Those icky germs need to go in the trash. And then when they're picking these up too, you can also, it's also great fine motor. So yeah, so you can switch out literally the contents of the bin, or you could give them a whole new bin each time. So this one is rice. I always do, so if you're doing sensory for the first time, don't do rice first, because it's so fun, but it's a lot messier. So do something that's like beans or noodles first, and then go to rice. These cupcake containers are awesome. They're linked in my Amazon shop, which is at the top, but you can wash these. And they're great little fillers. You can add in some shape buttons, again, linked in my Amazon shop. So you can sneak in some math. You could just put in green. Apparently I don't know my colors today. You could just put in blue and red buttons, and then maybe somebody else has the orange and the green buttons. So they could do color sorting as well as counting. So they can scoop and fill up their little cupcake, and they can put the candles in. And these candles are just from Walmart. Little pom-poms are really fun too. And you can wash pom-poms, and they just wash them, soapy water, put them out to dry, and they're fine. So you can wash the pom-poms, the cupcake liners, the candles, the scoops. The only thing you can't wash is rice. And again, you can just quarantine it for 2 weeks, and then you can use it again. Unless you find out somebody is sick, then I would toss it. Because that's kind of what I do for normal winters. If I have a really bad flu going through my classroom, whatever is in my sensory bin, I usually toss it. Otherwise, I just keep it till the next year, or maybe I don't use them every year. But like it's not like expensive, but it takes time, and it's so pretty. I mean, why not reuse it, right? So yeah, so that's another fun one. Oh, and how you make rice, it's kind of the same. And I have a video tutorial on my blog. Again, the link is at the top of this post. So beans, you use acrylic paint. But rice, so what you'll do is you'll take some white rice, put it in a baggie, and then you use liquid watercolor. I'm actually gonna show you guys how to dye noodles and chickpeas really quick tonight too. So yeah, not chickpeas, garbanzo beans. I can't say that word. But yeah, so you put some rice and Squirt some liquid watercolor there, shake, 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 lay it out to dry, and you are good to go. And it doesn't get on your hands. And then whatever sensory thing you're making, I always leave it out for about 24 hours just to make sure all the moisture gets, before I put it in an airtight container. So there are 2 ideas for you guys. So another idea I have, and this one, I have a video coming out this week with this one, so you guys get like a sneak peek. So this one is noodles pipe cleaners, because they can lace the noodles on the pipe cleaners. And then I have a little truck, and I do have some pony beads in here, which I would probably, if I would make this again, I probably wouldn't add them because you can't really see the difference of them. And then I have his name tag just on a name strip. It's paper. Again, stuff doesn't have to be fancy, but I have little rocks, which are from the Dollar Tree, and they have, let me see if I can find them all. So he can match the letters and the name tags in here if he needs help. And he can make his name with the letter rocks. And again, you can get a big bag of these rocks at the Dollar Tree. And again, the rocks you can clean. You can just toss the pipe cleaners if you need to, and then wash the little truck. But this one's really cute. You could also do this with sight words, and you don't have to put the whole alphabet in there. Maybe they're working on 5 sight words, so put the sight words in here on a book ring and just put the letters on those sight words, and then they can put the sight words, make the sight words with the rocks, and or you can put them in the truck and be like A-U-S-T-I-N, Austin, and then you can drive his little truck around. And then they can also lace on the pipe cleaner, which is great. Fine motor, and if you want to, they can make patterns, which is sneaking in some more math. So I love sneaking in literacy and math into into sensory tubs whenever I possibly can. Just because, why not, right? Like, do it all at once and they won't even know. This is another sneak peek. So I have a video coming out for this later this week. So this one is those garbanzo beans. You can get them. Target actually has them super cheap, which I was shocked, right? And then these are just plastic eggs. And then I have 3 little dinosaurs. So you guys, counters are great for sensory bins because you can wash them. So they can match the dinosaur and put it in the egg. And then I have some pom-poms in here. And they can use the tweezer. And then sneak in some of that fine motor. So now they're sorting by color. You can put a dice in your sensory bins, and they can roll the dice in the top, 4, and then they would have to put that many in their egg. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then they can roll again, 6, and then they would put 6 in. So another fun one just with dinosaurs, tweezers, a dice, and then the beans. So before I do any more, I want to show you guys really quick how to dye the beans. I forgot a baggie, so I'm just going to use this little one that I had something in, which it'll be totally fine. So I'll show you how I dyed the noodles first. So you can buy any noodle. These are the noodles I have in the construction sensory bin. So you just put them in a baggie. And kids can help with this part too. So fun. But if kids help shake, I always use the ones that have the zipper, the baggies that have the zipper, so I know it's closed and they're not shaking, and then squish the bag and then all the stuff comes out. So if you're having your kids help, make sure you're using the ones with the zipper, because it's happened to me before. So you just put some little noodles in a little baggie, any kind of noodle you want. Let's do blue. And I buy my liquid watercolor from Discount School Supply. Sometimes it's hard to tell the colors, so I just write the color name on the top. And then also it's messy, so I always keep it in a, can you see how gross the bottom of it is? It kind of like leaks everywhere because it's watery, liquid watercolor. So I keep it in a tub just so it doesn't get on things, because it usually doesn't stain, but the time I say it doesn't, it'll stain something of yours. So again, just a couple little shakes in here, and then you're just gonna shake, shake, shake. Shake, 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 shake. And then this isn't as blue as I want it, so all you gotta do is just put some more in. Super, super simple. I'm almost out of blue. I need to get some more blue. And you can buy it as the liquid watercolor, like as a pack, or like individually, totally, whatever you want to do. So you just shake, shake, shake until you get the desired color. And then, okay, I'm gonna put a little bit more in because I'll probably use these for something. It's really empty. And then, one more time. Oh, see, that's what happens if you don't use the zipper one. Oh, somebody said don't get it in my shirt. So if you get liquid watercolor in your shirt, like I said, 9 out of 10 times it comes out. And then it just looks like this. I'm gonna grab a tray. And then, that's it. And look, you guys, I just did it and it like barely gets on my hands. It doesn't take that long to dry. So when you are dyeing anything, like I said, you're gonna think it's dry, but make sure you wait 24 hours to make sure all that liquid is out, so you don't get mold. So that's how you dye noodles, and you dye rice the same exact way. And then these are those, what are they, garbanzo beans? I'm just gonna use the same baggie, and we'll make a different color this time. And you just put it in. Let's make orange because they kind of look like pumpkins. These are really fun to do, like a rainbow. So you just put some in. Liquid watercolor, I probably put too much liquid watercolor in that time. Probably did not need that much. But for the sake of time, I didn't want to have to put more in and shake, shake, shake. These little dump trucks I got at Target. Somebody's asking about the dump trucks. I'm sure you can find some at like Amazon or whatever. Yeah, I see all the water pooling in there. So if that happens, like it happened to me, all you do is you can, so you're not like wasting your liquid watercolor. So somebody asked me what the name of the dye is, and it's liquid watercolor. It's liquid watercolor paint. So you can buy it on Amazon. Lakeshore has some. Amazon has some. Really, it's all. I like Discount School Supply, but then my other teacher friend, she uses the Lakeshore kind, and it comes in all different colors. Now I would probably, if I wasn't doing a Facebook Live, I would probably put a couple more beans in there, but for the sake of time, I'm just gonna dump them out. Yeah, see, I put too much liquid watercolor. That's okay. Like, they'll be fine, and then they'll just dry, but don't they look like little pumpkins? So fun for fall. Or you can do all different colors, and they're great because when you pick them up, they can sort them into different containers. Like if you had like a whole bunch of different colors, like maybe put these, like these are pill bottles, I think, like the pill keepers from the Dollar Tree. You could put these in there and then they could sort those by color. So yeah, it's super simple, but yeah, if you have this much liquid watercolor, like in your baggie, just put some more beans in, and then you won't waste your liquid watercolor. And look at me, you guys, I'm prepared this time. I brought a wipe, so I'm not gonna get all this stuff all over everywhere. And look, you guys, it comes off your hands, now, except the purple. I don't know why. The purple doesn't really come off, but look, all clean. Okay. So if you're worried about dyeing stuff, just try it. Again, you can do pasta, garbanzo beans, and rice with liquid watercolor, beans, little white beans. I usually use acrylic paint. So that is that. Now I want to show you some other fun stuff. You guys ready? Okay. Because I dump stuff all over the place. So if you have to clean everything, these rocks are from the dollar store. I'm not gonna move them around because they're loud. But these rocks would be really fun for sensory play, especially with some littler guys. And you could put like a dump truck in here. You could put tweezers. I mean, you could really put whatever you wanted in here. So you could put some of these cups. So these are those like food serving cups that people put like ranch in. So you could put a couple of those in there, and then they have to fill it up, or they can dump it. It's really the sky's the limit on these bins. You can also, now obviously during, as we're having to wash things, I would typically put like nature things in here. If I was doing like, this would be, if I turn this into like a nature bin, and maybe I put some fall things in here, but nature stuff you can't really wash. So save that for after all of this hot mess COVID Express is over. So you can totally put nature things in here. I also love putting in, what are these? Like those, these are those gems from Hobby Lobby. Karen uses these for Jello shots. I might do that too. They're fun though. My mom owns a restaurant, so she gets me a whole bunch of them. And again, ask your local restaurants too, they might donate some to you. And obviously you don't need a bunch. Just say, can I have like 15? Don't need a bunch, just one for every kid. But yeah, these are gorgeous. They come in usually all the seasons at Hobby Lobby. Sometimes Target Dollar Spot has them, but again, this stuff is easy to wash, whereas the real nature stuff is not. So just use what you think, whether you're gonna quarantine your sensory bins, or maybe you're watching this and COVID is over, so go ahead and put all that nature stuff in there. And then again, scoops, my favorite thing to use are little measuring cups or spoons, because they're cheap and you can clean them. So another fun one to do. Okay, so here's another filler. So this is from Lakeshore. They send you a mesh bag, and it's like little plastic like pellets. And they have other washable sensory material. So if you need, because your center is requiring it, or your state, or whatever it is, you can buy some washable sensory material. So that way you can wash them. Like you could wash these, you could wash the rocks. Can't wash beans, like the food ones, but you could wash these. And they're really fun. If you can tell, like they're very relaxing to play in, and you get a lot in a bin. This isn't even like half of it. And I wouldn't put this much in a bin. I would put like probably half of this in a bin. And then another way, if you're maybe you're kinder, another thing you could do, where did I put it? Hold on, couldn't reach. Another thing you could do, and you could do this when you are teaching virtually, so you could just put some letter cards in. And if you're teaching virtually, you make your own sensory bin, and then you can be like, okay guys, ready? I'm gonna count to 3. 1, 2, 3. What letter do I have? And you might have to flip your screen so it's not mirrored like it is for you guys tonight. But you could be like, oh, G, G, goat. Ready? You guys tell me. G, G, goat. Oh, look, it's a G. Can you ride it in the air? G around and in. So you can use these in the classroom. You can use these for virtual teaching, and just hide these. I want to say that these letters are in one of my distance learning packs. I can't remember which one. But just hide them, and they can find them. And if you're doing, having everybody have their own bin of supplies, maybe everybody has their own set of letter cards, or lowercase. Or you can put in just their name, you could match them. So many things you could do. So another way you can sneak in literacy, or they can pick a card and then they can write it. This is really fun to play in, you guys. I love that stuff. You could also So I have, this is just like colored rice, and I just put a couple sequins in here. And you don't always have to make it rainbow. Like this is just green, purple, and blue. These little tubes are from Amazon, but I know like sometimes like things from the Target dollar spot comes in these. So these are really fun to put in mini sensory bins, because usually we put water bottles or empty like big bottles in our big sensory bins, right? So grab some of these little tubes, and you could put these in your mini sensory bin, and you can still put your funnels in, and you could even use your 1/4 cup measuring scoop, and maybe that funnel's too small. They can fill it up. So again, they're just filling up different stuff, different size bottles. So it's smaller, so we're gonna need smaller containers. So these little guys, they're from Amazon. They're linked in my Amazon storefront. Sarah, thank you for putting that Lakeshore link up. And I have a coupon code too. I will put that for Lakeshore. I'll put that at the bottom of this post too for you guys. It's like, I can't remember all the specifics, but my kids just came home. So if you hear a little stomping, that's what it is. So yeah, so just put in littler containers because they're little sensory bins. You could also do, these are from the Dollar Tree. So they're really for like craft supplies. I don't know what it is, but hey buddy, kids love scooping, filling, and then putting a lid on. For whatever reason, they love it. So put in these. It comes in a 6-pack. They're just little storage containers, but these could go in here. You could put them in a box. And if you don't, like maybe you don't have eggs, and if you don't have the plastic eggs, again, ask families to donate them to you. You're probably gonna have to quarantine whatever's donated to you for probably about 2 weeks so the germs go away. But yeah, so these little containers are perfect too. And then like I said, I love using Easter eggs. So I bought a whole bunch of like fun themed Easter eggs during Easter time. These are just from the Dollar Tree. So these are like zoo and farm. And these are like pets and there's an elephant down there. Pets and just animals. So yeah, so you can put those in there. Their eggs are perfect. And again, just ask families to donate them and then just quarantine them. You can also, if you have any like magnet letters, you can throw those in your sensory bins, and they can even fit in these little tubes. These are from the Target dollar spot, last year? I was kind of sad they didn't have them this year. But I'm sure you can find some kind of small little letters to put in there. If you have the letter mini erasers, those will be perfect. Letter tiles are also really fun to put in a sensory bin filler, and these are really easy to clean. So letter tiles are really fun to put in a little sensory bin. Mini erasers, again, you can use any theme. You can let the kids pick, but that, I know a lot of us have a lot of these, but that would be a really easy way just to change out the I call them like the fix-ins, so all the stuff you put in. And then these, so funny story, I thought these were like a water bead when I ordered them off Amazon, but they're not. They're like jewels that I just dropped. They're just like gorgeous, like little treasures. But they're supposed to be like, it's like a vase filler. But these would be really fun, and they're easy to wash. Then you can sort them by color, all kinds of fun activities you can do with that. Oh, and then these glass gems. So these could be a filler by itself. So you could literally buy, like these are at the dollar store. So you could buy these and put these in a pencil box because you can wash these. Like here's an empty pencil box. So you could put these in. So this could be your sensory filler too if you're needing ones that you can wash. So you could put this in there. You could throw some plastic animals in there. You could put some little scoop in there, and maybe, you know, a couple little containers. So then you could have, you know, they can count and do all of that. But then everything is washable. Everything, all of it. So yeah. So if you can't use food, no worries, it's okay. You can either like buy one from one of the stores. You could use these gems, which are from the dollar store. The mini rocks, which are from the dollar store as well. The other one is if you have kiddos who love to cut or who need to practice scissor sales. So you have two options. You can either buy the paper shredded paper, and you can put it in your bin. Obviously, you would give them a little bit more than that. And they can just cut it up because kids love making the littlest, tiniest little pieces ever, right? Don't they love just making those little itty bitty tiny pieces? And you can also, these are literally just strips of paper I cut with the paper cutter from like Astro Bright's paper. You know how when you have like paper scraps or whatever, because there's all those edges when you're cutting and laminating, keep them and put them in a cutting bin. And I know I just licked my fingers, sorry, don't do that. I get nervous sometimes during Facebook Lives, but then they can cut all of these little itty bitty tiny itty bitty pieces, and then they all go in a bin. So you can totally do a cutting bin too. That way it's for each kiddo. And if you don't want to do this, you could do, if you have a paper shredder, just shred some paper from your school and then you don't have to buy it. You could also put in crepe paper. So give everybody a couple little, couple pieces, and then they can cut that. And it's a little bit longer, so they might turn it, just make all the different pieces, and then they can hold it up. And you guys, when they hold something up, they're using these upper arm muscles, which are great because those shoulders stabilize them when they write. So we are great. These would be great because then now they're having to hold something up while they cut. So crepe paper would be really, really fun to add. I love using crepe paper in the classroom. And then again, you can just pitch all this at the end of the week or have them like glue it to something and make a collage. So those are my, oh, one more thing, because I don't ever stop talking. A couple more things for tools. These are at the dollar store. They, I kind of think come in like a 3-pack. So if you need tweezers that you can wash that are cheap, these are perfect from the dollar store. They're in like the fancy section. You know what I mean? Like the fancy like party section of the dollar store. Dollar store also has these, and Walmart does too, these smaller utensils. So these would fit, where's one of my, I can't find a pencil box now. Oh, here it is, it's hiding. So these would fit in here. So these little mini kitchen utensils, IKEA has mini ones too, but I want to say they're silver. But, so that way they can scoop. And every time you're giving them something different, a different kind of scoop, they have to learn how to manipulate it different. So they're working on more hand-eye coordination, bilateral integration. They're working on that wrist when they're using a spoon. So all the things. You could also just buy colored spoons, like silverware spoons, like the plastic ones, and put those in too. Those would be perfect for these, and there's another cheap alternative to these, especially you don't want to send all of these home and spend a fortune. But I just want to jump in here and say thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope you guys have an amazing night. Again, at the top of this post, you'll find the links to the sensory bin, or the bin labels, the like the how-tos on how to dye everything, and some of the mini sensory bins, and the ones that are not posted yet, I will post those later this week. And if you guys have questions, hop over to the Facebook group. If you guys make mini sensory bins, tag me on Instagram, post them in the Facebook group, because you guys, we are the ones inspiring each other, and your ideas are amazing. So keep them coming in the Facebook group. We gotta be there for each other right now. So that's it. That's all I got. So you guys have an awesome night.